Hi guys, this is Lalana. Thanks for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about the Hieros Gamos and what I hear referred to a lot as the soul merge. So I've been asked some questions by several of you in the comments about this. So I'm just going to do just a brief video on this just so we can have a better understanding of what we're talking about. And I mention this like all the time in my videos. I guess I just don't generally specify it or call it by name when I mention it in videos. But the soul merge, which is the Hieros Gamos, is the alchemical marriage of the masculine and feminine polarities unifying within the self, right? It's within the self. And we have this idea that, and this unification which within self is what opens up your access into your higher consciousness, right? So this is sacred union. It is your vehicle to your higher consciousness. And this is what I and a lot of other people call inner union. I refer to inner union all the time in all of my videos. This is why I'm always saying that this process happens within you. This is the feminine and masculine polarity merging within. So we just experience this because we're experiencing separation consciousness in the 3D. This is why we're experiencing that we're polarized to begin with, because the experience of the third dimensional reality is one of separation. And this is why we feel separate from source. We go through the amnesic state and we feel that we are separated from source, that we are separated from soul, that we are separated from higher self, that we are just a human being and this is all there is, and we're, floating around on this round ball in the middle of this specific universe, and that's just what it is, We go through the awakening process, we go through the Kundalini rising and come into the awareness that that is not all that it is, right? So we hear a lot about, and I think a lot of the questions specifically that I received were around the soul merge happening between you and the physical twin, right? And so we have to have the awareness that the physical twin is the physical twin is your same soul. Yes, the physical twin is your same consciousness. You are sharing that. You have incarnated here. Your soul has incarnated here twice to have this experience, to go through this process of awakening, to go through this process of ascension, to come out of the amnesic state, to come out of the sleeping state, to come into the awareness that you are a spark of God, source, creation, all that is, right? That you are having this experience in separation, to assist you to come back into the awareness, the higher consciousness awareness that that is what you are, right? But again, this process has to happen within you. You are already, all of us are already whole, complete, and fulfilled and full within. All of us are. But we've been having this experience of duality. And the experience of duality is what makes us feel like we are separate from everyone and everything, including the twin. And we have the perception of this because we feel separate from within. We feel broken within, or we feel disconnected from God, or we feel disconnected from source, and we're aligning to ego and all of these sort of things. Like, this is what the experience is. So the soul merge, right, if that's what we want to call it, is coming back into union with you. It's coming back into union with self. It's coming back into union with God, right? That's why it's called sacred union, right? It's happening within you. And this is why we're always saying that this inner union that is happening within you brings you back into that freedom state. It connects you back with source. Not that you've ever been disconnected, but you believed that you were, or you felt that you were, or you felt an abandonment wound, or you felt rejected, and all of these things that have been playing out in all of our lives, and we've been aligning to them for so long that however many lifetimes we've been incarnating, we have this, perceived awareness that separation is what it is, and separation is all it is. And in order to experience that, we have to believe that that's all it is, right? But obviously, as we know, as you're going through this path, that's not what it is. That's not all it is. And so coming back into that unification within is what is bringing the ascension process further and further online. The awakening process, your spiritual awakening, coming back into the awareness, bringing back your higher consciousness online. But even in saying that, it's not that your higher consciousness was ever offline, right? It's not that you were ever really separate. You weren't, but you believed that you were because you were having this experience. And I think it's really important that we understand that, because as I've said before, it's not like you're climbing Mount Everest to get to someplace you've never been, right? That's not what ascension is. Ascension is pushing up everything that is no longer serving you. Ascension is pushing up the karmas and the traumas and the things that have you stuck in that amnesic state, that have you believing that everything is material, right? That's what it's doing, right? That's why it's flooding all of these things up to the surface. That's why the twin is reflecting these things back to you all the time, for you to come back into the awareness that you are one. You've always been one, right? You've never been disconnected. And so the questions that I have a lot, and I understand that this is from the split soul, twin flame thing, is that there is this perception that the split soul twin flame, potentially even the monadic souls, the twin rays, have been, that your soul has been basically split in two, and that you are cast aside or cast wherever in the galaxy, and that you've been trying to find your way back. These two parts of the soul have been trying to find their way back to one another. What's actually happening is that you are collapsing separation and you're collapsing polarity within, right? This is how the separation is perceived through the mind, is because we feel that we're separate from everybody. That's what this is. We feel like we're separate from everybody. And so that's how this narrative comes through in regard to experiencing separation consciousness and the amnesic state. But all of this is happening within you. The alchemical process, the alchemical marriage, it's within you, right? As within, so without. That's why you have to come into inner union, right? Inner union is what this path is. It is a higher consciousness path. That's just what it is. That's why I keep saying the twin flame dynamic is your spiritual awakening. That's just what it is. That's the alchemical dance. That's what we're doing here. And so we are collapsing duality and polarity within. We're coming back into the remembrance that we are one within. We're coming back into the remembrance that masculine and feminine have always been one, right? It's always been one. It's always been unified. We've just been experiencing polarity. We've been experiencing duality. And so this is why I'm saying there's nothing that you need to fix between you and the physical twin, right? You're not trying to bring the physical twin to you so that you can both merge physically. And a lot of people have asked me like that, and they've been confused about that, right? This is as within, so without. This is you coming back into the alchemical marriage that is happening within you. You coming into the remembrance that you are whole, complete, sovereign, God, spark of everything, right? You are creation, right? This is what collapses that duality and that polarity. It's collapsing it within you. This is what, if you choose to say, which I'll continue to say this 1,000 times over, if you choose to be in romantic partnership with the twin flame physically, that you can, right? So hopefully that resonates a little bit. You know, I know that there's a lot of pushback. I don't say a lot of pushback, but there is some pushback in regard to the idea that as soon as the feminine has come back into inner union, then automatically that means that he, she, not gender specific, is going to want to have that romantic partnership with the physical aspect of the twin flame, right? So first of all, there's a timeline lag. So when the feminine comes into inner union, the masculine is going to come into that, you know, merge with her, you know, with her or him when that timeline lag catches up with itself. You know, it's not an instant thing. But I work with a lot of people, and I work with a lot of people who are in inner union, and I work with a lot of people who are in inner union and feel better than they've ever felt in their entire life, and they kind of wondering where this energy has been all of their life. They're completely whole, they're completely fulfilled, right, on their own. And it doesn't mean that somehow now they don't, you know, like the twin, or they don't, I mean, it's them. They've just completely come into the awareness that that is me. That is my soul. We are experiencing this. My soul is experiencing itself twice. What an incredible, amazing thing. And for most of the clients that I work with that are in here, or that are in this place, there is so much honor in that. There is so much like just reverence in that. There is so much love and unconditionality and grace in that. There is no yearning in that. There is no, but we're supposed to be together now in that, because all of that stuff has collapsed. It's all coming from the ego mind saying that, okay, now that I'm here, this is the way it's supposed to look. And this is why I'm saying that once you're in inner union, it's completely experiential and it's difficult to put into words. But once you're in inner union, the completeness and the wholeness that comes online, it's indescribable. And so anything else that is like in your life is just adding to that. But you don't need anything, right? You don't, and the physical twin is included in that. The physical twin and, you know, the experience that we're having here in this incarnation to bring you back into the awareness that you've always been one, that you're always complete, you know, that you're not split apart and thrown somewhere and you're trying to like find your way back to yourself, right? All of the awarenesses that start to come back online, and you start to drop all of these limited belief systems and all of these things, and the freedom that comes online and the unification that you feel with Source is so fulfilling that you simply don't need anything else. And it's not a matter of saying that I just don't want to be with the twin now, because that again would be an ego choice. It's just a matter of saying, I feel completely whole now. And so that's cool if I have that, and it's cool if I don't. I'm good either way. I'm completely fulfilled and whole within either way. This is what the true alchemical process within is actually doing, right? The twin has just been showing you what you have been all this time. Like, that's their role. They're showing you all this time, come back to your grace, come back to your truth, come back to your union, right? Come back to God, come back to Source. This is what I'm showing you. This is why I'm showing you all your light, and this is why I'm showing you all of the shadows that are keeping you, you know, rerunning this separation consciousness that is keeping you stuck in this paradigm, right? I'm showing you this for you to shift up and out, for you to come back home to self, right? To come back in to literally your best life, right? So that's what I have to share with you guys today. So that's what, you know, the Hieros Gamos, it's much more complicated. It gets, you know, we could get into this thing for an hour and break it all down. But in regard to just having just a simple awareness of, you know, what that is, it's the merge of the masculine and feminine within you, right? It's the merging of these energies that is opening up the gateway to bring you into your higher consciousness and the truth of what you are, what you've always been, right? It's bringing you back into Source, right? That's what the awakening does. It's the whole purpose of this path, is for you to come into that awakening and for you to come back in to your sovereignty within, right? Sovereignty doesn't lack. Sovereignty isn't looking outside of itself. Sovereignty is it, right? Sovereignty is, I am one with everything. I am one with source. I'm back home, right? I'm back home. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Hopefully that resonates. I know that this past week has been super difficult with that full moon, strawberry moon. So if anyone was having a difficult time that last week, I hope that that is ebbing off now for some of you, because I know that a lot of you that I spoke to were definitely feeling the energy. So I hope you guys have an awesome day.